My setup is complete and we've got a lot to talk about. Today is the 21st of February and at the beginning of the month we reached 500 subscribers. This video will sort of be a 500 subscriber special, but it's also going to act as a channel marker. Every video I make from this point onwards will be done at a higher quality and to the best of my ability. That's not to say that everything I've done before isn't to my best ability, it's just that my best is now a little bit higher. The first half of this video is going to focus on a studio tour. Like I said in the intro, my setup is done and I'd like to show you all the new stuff that I bought and how I've organized myself. And in the second half of the video, we're going to be talking about this YouTube channel, my secondary YouTube channel, and the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts I'm making for both. The first thing I want to talk about is the biggest and most expensive upgrade I've made to my setup, my new computer. What we've got there is the 24-inch iMac that I upgraded to 16 gigabytes of RAM and a terabyte of SSD storage. At some point this year I was looking to buy a new computer. I was already thinking about getting a gaming desktop PC because I've always wanted one. But after I considered the main purpose of my computer, I decided to look at one that was going to be best for content creation and music production. There's a whole list of reasons as to why I went with this computer specifically, and I want to talk about two of them. The first, really simply, is behind this computer we've got my gaming laptop, which I've had for about 4 or maybe 5 years. Everything I did from schoolwork to now work, but content creation, music production and personal use was all run off of this computer. It's a really good laptop for gaming, but for everything else it's just never performed well. The second issue I was having, and it's probably one of the biggest factors in my decision, was to do with recording guitar. I spent a good amount of money on a new amplifier so that I could record guitar directly from the amp into the computer. Only problem is it never worked. It wasn't until recently that I figured out it's because Mac offers way more options and control over settings that Windows just doesn't. These settings that I was missing was the cause of all my problems. So I wanted a new computer and I needed to get away from Windows, which brought me to an Apple computer. Because I switched over to Mac, I had to repurchase my editing software and I decided to buy a brand new DAW. All the editing software in the DAWs are more efficient, they run smoother, they're quicker, they're faster, they look better. So I do not in any way, shape or form regret getting this Mac. I actually think it was the best thing that I needed. Only problem is, and this is actually one of the reasons I've never really favoured an Apple product, everything I had before I bought the Mac was supposed to be used on a Windows computer, or at least with USBs, and we don't have any of those on this computer, so I had to buy a bunch of adapters. I'm already spending a good amount of money on this computer, plus all the adapters. I may as well just go that next step further and get everything that I need to want. If I ever want to purchase something, I use my need to want system to make sure that the purchase is first done so through intent and with reason, and second of all, it's got a purpose that will benefit me in some way, shape or form, and will help me achieve the things that I want to do. A perfect way to explain this is through my guitars. Do I need them all? Realistically, no I don't, but every one of these guitars still has a purpose. I could make an entire video itself on each of these guitars, so I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. Here's my first ever bass guitar. It's a 4-string in drop C tuning for the heavier stuff. My main bass guitar's got that 2-string for the range. I use it for literally everything. My main bass guitar. My main acoustic for all my acoustic guitar needs. My Telecaster for Tele sounds, Les Paul for Les Paul sounds. Stratocaster for Strat sounds. I had to switch the pickup selector switch, and once I fix the guitar up, it's going to be in E flat tuning. My first Les Paul in drop C tuning to match the bass guitar. My acoustic guitar in open C for Ocean by John Butler, also one of my favourite tunings. I'm going to relearn that song soon and do a better cover because the original one is awful. This is my first ever electric guitar, and once I fix this one up, it's going to be my Strat in E standard tuning. And while we're talking about it, this is my first guitar full stop. It's a 3/4 size nylon string guitar and it means a lot to me. Then my Telecaster with humbuckers, so a fake Telecaster, which is why I bought this one. So it will become a slide guitar. And my main guitar, my Ibanez, it's got this little switch here which allows for a bunch of different pickup variations, which makes this my one guitar that can pretty much do anything. Hypothetically, if I was to perform live, this would be the one I would use. Long story short, what do I need in order to do the things that I want to do? This way I prioritize my spending on stuff that has a purpose and that will benefit me in the future. I have no intention nor the desire to sell any of my guitars. I'll pretty much have them indefinitely, which means I have reason to prioritize my money over there. Same with the computer. I've been writing a list that has all of these things that I need to want. Over the last year and a half, I've been able to tick off a lot of those items on the list. Once I got all my instruments, I needed to look at how I was going to record them. So I then spent a little bit of money on my audio interface. I got my cables, I got my DAW. Like I mentioned before, the amplifier so I could record my guitars. And after that, I wanted to look at the studio itself for YouTube and for making my music. This used to be a big red wall. It was very aesthetically unpleasing for the camera, so I ended up switching it to this nice, beautiful grey blue colour. And I immediately covered it all up with this noise deadening foam. That way the audio and aesthetics for my videos and the audio for my music is going to be of a higher quality and not have all the airy background noise. While I was at it, I bought myself a new desk with the intention of having a dual monitor setup. The desk was the last big purchase I made until I got my computer. With all the money I was already about to be spending on my computer and the adapters, I thought I may as well just go that next step and buy everything else that I can get off of my need to want list. The first thing I wanted to improve was the actual recording of my videos, so I looked at my camera. I've got a second YouTube channel called The Home Gym. Shameless plug, I know. Here it is here. it's, as the name sort of implies, me working out in the home gym. I'm usually in the gym for about an hour, hour and a half max, but when I'm recording videos, it usually takes me about 2 to 2.5 hours. It's mostly because I keep re-recording the same clips all over again. I've actually re-recorded this entire video from start to finish 3 times already. This is my 4th time trying it, so hope for the best. What I'm getting at is I run through my battery and I fill up my SD card really quick. So the first thing that I did was buy a couple of extra batteries. One of them's in the camera, and a 128GB SD card also in the camera. At the end of all these videos, I do an outro, and I have the camera, it used to be sat there, now it's sort of, that's in the way, so probably just be about there. Focus on the lighting. We're talking 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and yeah, that doesn't look good. So I thought what would make sense, get a ring light, and that way when I'm recording guitar stuff like this, or doing some kind of something with my software on my computers, I've got this. It's actually really helpful. I'm happy that I got it. While we're talking about lights, I also got an extension cord because my cord that comes with my big light is too small and you have to put it right next to the power point. But now that I've got the extension cord, all the cables under my bed are organized, clean and efficient, and I just need to plug that in straight away and I'm good to go. On the topic of the YouTube channels, I want to talk about the Instagram, TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I've always wanted to do YouTube Shorts and TikToks ever since they came out. I just never did. It's actually quite a common problem with me. I know exactly what I want to do up here, and I know exactly how to do it, because it's not rocket science. Any idiot can upload a YouTube short. I just never actively sit down and do it. I don't know why, I just keep putting it off. Same goes for me making my thumbnails better. I know how to make a good thumbnail. It's not that hard. You don't have to be smart to do it. You just need a good photo, preferably one from a video, and some eye-catching text. That's it. I knew how to do it. I knew how to find it. I knew how to make them. I just never did. And other stuff, like doing my profile picture, that was about 3 years out of date until I redid it. Like my hair was short, and it's not anymore. Like my channel trailer, I knew how to do that. I knew I wanted to do that. I even had a video planned to do it. I just never did it. Anyway, I finally got around to doing YouTube Shorts. I've been wanting to for months and months and months and months. Now these videos are of course not supposed to be viewed on a computer, but instead on your phone. And sometimes it's easier to, instead of getting a landscape video and cropping it to make it portrait, I can just record directly on my phone and then transfer it over. So I bought a tripod mount plus a microphone adapter thing so I can use that with my phone. And now I can record all my TikTok, Instagram and YouTube Shorts videos. Seeing as though we've kind of started here, we keep moving this way. I got a new keyboard and mouse. The most expensive mouse and keyboard I got was a $50 pack that came with both of them. And I spent about $150 on the keyboard and about $200 on this mouse. We've got my DP cable so I can have my dual monitor set up, and I've also got an HDMI cable that I can use for my gaming laptop. Click of a button and I have access to my laptop that we were talking about before. Then over here, I got a USB port to plug into one of the adapters. The second adapter has got my audio interface so I can just plug in straight away and go. But in the USB port, I've got my SD card reader. I've also got my amplifier plugged in so I can just, again, plug in and go so I can record my guitars. And I also bought a 4TB hard drive for bulk storage. And the last thing I believe I purchased is some Velcro for my pedal board, which actually makes me think of a pedal that I'd like to get. I want to get a really nice reverb pedal because I have one, but it doesn't work. And I've got another one that does work that doesn't sound good, so I'd like to get one that does work and that does sound good. That actually might lead us to the next bit. What else do I need to want? That's more of just a want because I do have reverb on my amp. But what do I need to want? There's 2 really big things. A car. I'm turning 20 this year and I work at 5 different schools as a music teacher, but I need a car, and driving my mum's Suzuki Swift is not my favourite thing in the world. I'm going to try and save up most of my money for the next 6 to 8 months and see what we've got by the end of the year. That obviously takes priority, so much so that it's almost worthless to talk about the second thing that I want, but I may as well for this video. My electronic drum kit, I want to upgrade it. It was the most expensive kit that I could afford, and it was also the best kit that I could afford because I didn't have a job and didn't have any money. So I spent $950 or something ridiculous on this drum kit, and I've had it for a couple of years and it's been great. It just isn't great anymore. I've got super expensive guitars, a super expensive piano, I've got amplifier, audio interface, I've got everything that I need except for a good electric drum kit. So I really want to go and spend a couple $1,000s on maybe like a Yamaha or a Roland if I can afford it. If not, we'll just go like an Alesis Nitro. Car, priority, a new electric drum kit, a reverb pedal, and possibly adding some more of this noise deadening foam that I've got. Stay tuned and let's keep moving forward. All production for the home gym has been temporarily put on hold so I can write my own music. Because I'm sort of a musician, I don't want to cop out and use YouTube's music or potentially use anything that's got copyright issues. Plus, I want some way to link both of my YouTube channels together, and a good way to do that is by writing my own music. I'm going to do a few heavy songs built off of riffs that we can use in the background for all my home gym videos. That way it's a little bit more entertaining and you're not just hearing weights clanging together and heavy breathing. I know that I can download all my videos, I just don't know if I can do it in HD from YouTube Studio. If I can, I'm going to download all the videos and then remove them off of the channel. I'll then slowly, one by one, fix them up, make them look a little bit better, and add the music. This way I can rebrand myself and make the YouTube channel a higher quality. Now we can move on to the other platforms. The best part about making videos for YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok is it all comes from one big, massive YouTube video. For all the music side of things, what I'll usually do is, let's say I'm doing a review of a guitar pedal. I'll usually sit there for about half an hour and just improvise a bunch of random licks and riffs and chords and do whatever I really want. Then I take all my favorite parts that I've done over the last half an hour and I just compile them into one big section for the YouTube video. All these different improvised bits can become clips that I can upload onto Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. So basically one video for YouTube can end up being about 5 to 10 smaller videos for every other platform. If I can start averaging 1 to 2 YouTube videos per week, I can usually get about 10 to 15 smaller videos that I can use. That way I can upload 1 or 2 clips per day on each of them, and together with the YouTube channel I should be able to start building myself up. The home gym will be more frequent because I'll be making videos probably 5, maybe even 6 times a week. Even if it's just 3 smaller clips from those videos, that's still 3 clips that I can upload to all the other platforms per day as well. Forgetting about the home gym, I just want to look at all my different social media for the Sam Patterson music side of everything. So on YouTube we've got 535 subscribers and I'm going to say an average of 400 to 500 views for all the YouTube shorts and about 100 to 150 views per main video. The views on my main videos usually fluctuate because the latest one has got 36 views, the one before that has got 255. I do have a bunch of videos that have got several thousand views, and my biggest one has got 34,000. From 30 posts on Instagram I've got 28 followers, and pretty much the same amount of posts on TikTok has got me 370 likes, and I'm averaging 150 to 200 views on there as well. I'll have all my links and stuff in the description, and I've got it in my bio and everything for the channel. So if any of this interests you, please go ahead and check it out. Otherwise, let's move on and get sort of a far look at the studio. So here's the entirety of the studio from afar. You can kind of see where everything is put. We've got my desk and my workspace, drum kit, piano, guitar wall. I'd say the bed takes up maybe a third of the room, and I've got my cupboard over there plus a shelf with some personal items. At this end I've got my pedal board and I've got all my stuff for the drum kit because I've got my light sort of in the middle of it. The cables, the sticks, the drum stool and the power are all under the bed, so if I want to do some drumming I just need to set it up for a couple of minutes. Like I mentioned before, we've got the main computer, the main monitor, and behind both of those we've got the main gaming laptop. Now when it comes to recording all my different videos, usually I'll be sitting either facing this way or this way, really depends on my mood and what I want as a background. Camera stands on the bed when I'm doing all my drum stuff. When I want this angle here, I've just got it in a taller position and I kind of have it leaning over the top, sort of wedged between the guitar stand and my fan, which is actually one of the best purchases I think I've ever made. Trying to sleep in 40-degree weather is not good. Turn on the fan, sweet dreams. I did have a couple of problems trying to work out how to set up the camera to record the piano. The first idea that I came up with was the most obvious one. Just put the tripod on top of the piano. Only problem is, to get everything that I needed in frame, I had to lift the tripod up a little bit too tall. Then due to the weight of the camera and the fact that I couldn't extend the base of the tripod because of how narrow the piano is, it would just keep falling over. Even if I got it into a perfect sweet spot to where it would stand on its own, every time I would start playing, the piano would move ever so slightly and it would fall over again. So it was useless. Didn't work. Was not good. My second idea was get a really tall tripod, sit it behind me and then just go over the top. But that was a bit out of budget, and then I came up with a ridiculous idea to just have some kind of roof attachment. So what I've ended up having to do is wedge the tripod in between the piano and the wall. Sometimes I even add a couple of counterweights just on one of the bars that stabilizes the legs. So tripod up here for the piano, on the bed for the drum kit. I usually have it here for my intros and outros with this as a background. Unless I'm sitting down, in which case I usually have the tripod here, and this will be my background. The last thing I'd like to mention is the fact that I'm considering getting a new camera and microphone. I've spent a good amount of money on this noise deadening foam, and if you listen to my room, it's actually pretty much dead quiet. But somehow the microphone or the camera is picking up some kind of static noise. It doesn't render my videos useless, it's just really difficult to find the perfect balance between volume and that static noise. At the very least, I might get a new microphone and just hope that that fixes the problem. If it does, I probably won't look for a new camera until next year, maybe even the year after. This video is to be used as a marker because we've reached 500 subscribers. Like I said in the intro, my hope is that from this video onwards, all content I make will be done to the best of my ability to hope that it creates a really high quality of content. Everything I've discussed in this video will be in the description, which will be all my links to all the different channels and the platforms and everything. If you're interested and want to support me, go ahead and check those out. Otherwise, if you've got any questions or suggestions for other videos, please let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all for 500 subscribers. It's only up from here.